Christian Bale, John David Washington, Margot Robbie, Mike Myers, Taylor Swift. This should be a masterpiece. Let's talk about it. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Finally saw the brand new David O. Russell movie, that is Amsterdam. My expectations at the beginning of the year were high, especially when you look at this cast. Is the movie good? That's the question, and let's talk about it. So, in the 1930s, three friends witness a murder and are framed for it and uncover one of the most outrageous plots in American history. This movie's rated R for brief violence and bloody images. So, not the craziest R-rated movie you're going to see all year, even though there are some crazy scenes in here. One in particular that involves a car. You know the rest. If you've seen the movie, I was just like, what? What? Here's what stands out about this movie. I mean, first thing, it's the cast. And it goes beyond just our main three characters. It goes beyond the best performance, and that is Christian Bale, in my opinion. He is giving an Oscar nomination-worthy performance. I don't know if he's going to get it because of the movie that he's in and the script that was given to him. You know what? I'm not even going to fully fault the script for this one. I'm going to more so fault the direction behind how this story moves. The tone, at times, is all over the place. And the script is something that, in my opinion, is working for the movie while everything surrounding that is working against it. And it creates for a bit of a mess in terms of the viewing experience. And you look at David O. Russell, someone who wrote the script, but also directed the movie. So you have the biggest positive here and the biggest negative over here, and the same person is behind both. So this is someone, it feels like he's working against himself with this movie, trying to bring it all together, this period piece mystery of sorts, something that should maybe take itself more seriously in moments. Instead of that, it has this quirkiness to it, and then it feels like other scenes, when the quirkiness is working for it, it starts to take itself a bit more serious. And I felt that inconsistency throughout the entire film. Thankfully, I had the performances to fall back on. And again, it's not just Christian Bale or John David Washington. Margot Robbie is really good in this film. Andrea Riseborough's awesome. Anya Taylor-Joy. You have Chris Rock giving a nice performance. Michael Shannon and Mike Myers. The way that they play off of each other in this movie was so surprising. There's one crazy scene with Mike Myers' character, and even though the scene did feel a little bit out of place, the performance that we were getting from Myers was cool to see. And we got his Netflix series earlier in the year, but to see him under the banner of a director like this in 2022 is awesome. And understandably so. There's everything that's happened with David O. Russell off screen and away from this viewing experience. I'm trying to put the movie, in a different perspective away from that, because this is something that is worked on by a lot of people, not just one person that, understandably so, pissed a lot of people off. They're right to feel that way, absolutely. But looking at this, trying to appreciate everyone else involved, you have a great trio at the forefront, at the center, and leading us through this mystery. And I didn't expect this movie to be a mystery of sorts. I also didn't gather from the trailer that there would be kind of a complexity to it. It does tend to lean into convoluted territory, and that's when a movie like this, especially with this runtime, something that feels like it just keeps going, that's going to be an issue as you get further into the film. You do not want something you're kind of scrambling your brain for. And I've seen a lot of people, especially on Twitter, see this as a very confusing experience. The plot, it was just hard to keep up with all this. I was definitely paying more attention than maybe I should have, but I kept up with the plot and I understood where it was going. It was more so some of the character decisions in here. Characters are doing things that don't fully makes sense with what was established for them earlier on in the film, and even down to some of the line delivery. Again, I have to fault the direction for that. You have someone giving an awesome performance, and then they'll read a line, and it almost feels stale when that line comes out. I'm like, oh, could we not have shot that again? No? Well, all right. And you have David O. Russell, the filmmaker behind American Hustle and Silver Linings Playbook, two movies, especially Playbook, that I absolutely loved. But the more recent outing was Joy, and I felt Joy was just kind of this slow slog of sorts. It didn't quite work. And this movie is way more upbeat, and I'd definitely say it's more entertaining than Joy, but I'd also say it's messier from a tonal perspective, building up something that they want you to feel is mysterious. All right, where's it going to go? How are they going to solve this? Well, I don't know if it was just me, but I saw exactly where this was headed really early on, and it's built up as this crazy, mysterious series of events, and I'm like, no, I know exactly where this is going. Now, it didn't take away from the entertainment as we were going. The chemistry between the cast was incredible, and the movie actually looks really good. There's maybe a decision or two in there visually that didn't quite work, but I thought it was shot very well. It moved extremely well from a visual perspective, and the music amps up, kicks in. You get characters going back and forth, that banter, that dialogue. That's what you want from a David O. Russell film, and that is much more so in here than a film like Joy. And sorry, that's the comparison I keep making, but that's the most recent movie that I just wasn't a big fan of. I was definitely more entertained with this movie. That being said, the obviousness of where it goes, the fact that not every performance was on the same level, even though it should have been. Now, I will say, the movie does get better as you go. Even though you can see where it's going, I thought the third act wrapped up in a nice way, and the movie itself, it's not going to leave you cold, especially with these performances, but is that enough? That's the question. Before I give you my score, let me know your thoughts down below. Did you enjoy Amsterdam? What is your favorite David O. Russell movie? And if you enjoyed this review, be sure to drop that like. Amsterdam is able to bring a few performances to the table that are worthy of being raved about, but the overall experience is disappointing. The tone is all over the place, and the story feels disjointed, and that's why I'm going a flat 50% with my score. Again, it's not a terrible movie. I've seen worse movies this year, so as an experience, it may be worthy of you to see, but I was really underwhelmed by the experience, so it just did not quite work for me. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon.